Good morning, it's Ivan Mayer. 9 o'clock. Hope you guys enjoyed my show I made yesterday. What'd you do after you watched your video? I watched the Miracle on Ice documentary on Netflix. Yeah, it was a pretty good documentary. The 1980 U.S. team, they beat the Soviets. It's like the biggest sporting upset in history, obviously. Because the Soviets were like the best hockey team in the world. No, they won like 4 straight championships from like 64 to 76. They were so talented they even beat the NHL All Stars. I saw the game, a few of the games. Soviets played the NHL All Stars back in the 70s and they beat them. That's how good they were. All right, do you think the Soviets would beat the NHL All Stars today? No. No. Look, the game of hockey has evolved over the past 40 years. The NHL players have much better training and systems than they did back in the 70s and 80s, obviously. It's a different system as the game has evolved. The 1980s Soviet team would not beat the NHL All Stars today. No, the NHL players All Stars are amazing players today. Because back then the NHL All Stars, even though they're amazing, they didn't have the kind of training that the players have now, right? They didn't have the kind of training. And I saw the game when the Soviets played the USA. They're an amazing team, but like you compare it to like hockey today with the NHL athletes, they wouldn't be able to beat the NHL All Stars today, obviously. Yeah, only I'm saying, yeah. Yeah. What's your chances on a pro hockey league? Not high, man. Chances on maybe moves for BJ. I might start the league. You never know. But I highly doubt it. It's risky. I don't want to spend like $30-something billion, $35 billion of my money and I flop as a player. I'm talking, you go on NHL athletes. What if I flop as a player? I don't want to take that chance, man. I don't want to flop as a player. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to flop as a player. Yeah. That's the thing, though, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, some of you NHL athletes, man, don't worry about it. You work out and train. You should be able to keep up. Yeah, but what if I flop, guys? I don't want to spend like $35 billion of my money into the league. 34 billion into the league and I flop as a player, guys. That's insane. Yeah. That's why movies is much safer, obviously. Movies is safer, obviously, right? Safer, obviously. Movies is safer, right? Yeah. All right, is the glory close? Oh yeah, it's close. Being a pro hockey athlete in movie star, the glory is close, but movies is better, obviously. It's better glory than being a pro hockey player, like duh. And I want to turn my Books A's into a movie. That's my dream, obviously. The only way I'll consider starting pro hockey league is if they delay this thing, or like it's temporary to start it, but like, would I really rather be a pro hockey player than be in movies? And being movies is better. That's why I'm gonna start Skyscraper VJ. It's much cooler, obviously. Yeah. 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 You're not gonna have those hockey athletes do. Yeah, if I said our pro hockey league, even though it's highly unlikely I'm a movie star, I'm not gonna have those hockey athletes do me, right? Even Sid the Kid and McJesus, McDavid, that's their nicknames, right? Obviously, I know Vashti and all those guys are not worth any more than $50 million. Obviously, they play in my league. Generational players are not worth any more than $50 million. They want more than that. They're ripping you off, and you have to say no. You can't pay them any more than $50 million, guys. That's enough. And chances are the GMs will pay the players that 40, 45, $50 million. Probably to save more cap space, they might pay the generational player at least $40 million. That way they're happy. But some of the generational guys might even make $50 million. And they're worth it because they're very unique talent. They put on a show on television. They're worth the money. And they make the team much better. And they're not allowed to get any more than $20 million of league revenue. So if a player makes $50 million for 2 seasons and they get $20 million league revenue, they just made $140 million in 2 seasons. That's how much star NHL players make in their whole career, like 20-year career in the NHL, right? Oh. Yeah. Sarah? Yeah. And Sidney Crosby and Harmon, if they played my league, they'd be happy with that contract. Yeah, even though you're a greedy pig and you're making all that pie, we're happy. They'll be happy with that money. They don't make that in the NHL, right? Oh. They'll make that money in NHL. Yeah, it's a good contract. And you get your magazine money, you don't forget that, like your $4 million magazine deal. But there is no endorsement. They don't get endorsement deals. That's how it works, right? But it's too late for those guys. Don't hate me, guys, for saying yeah. Yeah. And the other players don't peak any higher than 32 million. That's enough for the players. I'm not gonna have those guys do me, right? 32 million is enough. Why not 35? Nah, 35 is a bit too much. 32 million is the peak. But in the next bargaining agreement, I'll raise it to like 35. They can make the star players can now make a bit more money, $35 million. I'll raise the cap by maybe $13, $14 million. So you can pay the players a bit more. But all that money will go to the star players, right? The difference of the increase of the cap, all that money goes to the star players. It doesn't really make a big difference for the other players, right? Yeah. That's how it works in pro sports. When you increase the cap, the star players drain the difference of the increase, right? They drain it out, the star players. The star players take the majority of the money. That's how it works in pro sports. I mean, that's funny, I know. I have no shit. I'm not shit, man. Yeah. So guys like Malkin, um, players like Malkin, Brad Marchand, those guys, right? Jonathan Towles, that's his name. Those guys can peak at $32 million. Subban, those guys can peak at $32 million. That's what I'm saying, but they can't make any more than that. Players like that playing in my league, and they get league revenue. Most likely they're 14 million league revenue, right? For the first 2 seasons, you got to bring it down by at least $1 million league revenue. That way they don't dupe you, right? Is it part of the rule? Yeah, they have to take pay cuts. Every player has to take pay cuts during for their contract. They have to take pay cuts. That way you create more cap space. It's very important, especially the generational guys. They have to take a huge pay cut. They make 50 million for 2 seasons. They have to take at least maybe a 10, 12 million dollar pay cut at least. They make like 38 million. But to keep them happy, you can pay them 38 million for 3 seasons. That way they make more money. And after you bring it down to maybe 20, 28 million. Like the generational guys have to take 10 plus million cuts because they're getting paid way too much money. They have to take bigger cuts, obviously, because I'm paying a lot more money. Whereas the other guys take like 5 million, 4 million cuts. Pay them 32 million for 2 seasons. After that, they get 27 million for 3 seasons. And you bring it down to maybe 21, 22 million for another 3 seasons. That's 8 years. In the final 2 seasons, they make their 20 or their 19 million. And you have to bring down their league revenue amount too. By the final season, they're making like 11, but 11 million in league revenue. They still sign like a 200 plus 250, 300 million. Dude, that's not money for the players, right? They don't make that in the NHL. And after that, they can't make that money over again. I'm on how you guys do me, right? If I start that league, I keep saying that. I'm not gonna have the athletes do me. Yeah. Why, man? It's not fair, man. You're making like your billions every fucking 2 weeks. Yes, I am, because I'm the one who paid for the thing, guys. That's why all the league revenue goes to me. All the revenue of the 25 teams, guys, goes to me, right? But you have to save some of it. You have to save like $15 billion of the money, of the profits, to put back into the league next season. That way the league can pay the bills. Obviously. And all the money owed to the star players for their league revenue, you have to calculate that too, and all the star players get their league revenue check at the end of each season. But it's best to pay them at the end of each season. It's kind of like a bonus, right? You made your 25 million, 27 million, 32 million, whatever it is, and at the end of the season, you get your 14 million of league revenue money. More money than what the players make in the NHL for their endorsement deals. So I'm paying the players more money what they make in the NHL. That's what I'm saying. The NFL, NBA, and all these leagues will go into a panic. Obviously, they can't compete with my pro hockey league. Yeah. Oh, you're such a fucking dick, man. I'm mocking around, man. You do that, man. You're gonna crush that NHL. So you guys get what you deserve, man. You want to lock doors with me and keep 9 seasons. I make my billions up my book. I saw that pro hockey league, you're left behind and you miss out on the fun, right? You get what you deserve. Don't hate you guys for saying, yeah. So they'll be crushing NHL. Yeah, because they'll finally hit their minds. They're gonna have that flashback of their life. Yeah, when I was a kid playing hockey, I dreamed of playing in the Gatekeepers NHL. But Ivan, when he came down to earth with VJ, we locked the doors on him, and now he's king. He made his billions off his book, and he started a pro league that blows the NHL in the water. Pay the athletes way more money, and they're way more famous, and we miss out on all that fun. And now they're dreaming. They're gonna wish I was born in this generation. I was drafted in Ivan's league instead of the Gatekeepers NHL. Ivan's league is better than the Gatekeepers NHL. Crazier buzz, crazier fame, with the press and everything, and higher paid work. They offer like shit, obviously, those guys. Yeah. Connor Davis, Sidney Crosby, Ovechkin, Malkin, Brad Marchand, I'm saying Austin Matthews are all gonna be crushed, man. All those guys, right? Jonathan Towles. I can go on, right? PK Subban, they're gonna be crushed, those guys. They miss out on the opportunity. The athletes playing in my league are way more famous than the athletes playing in the NHL. And they missed out on all that fame too, and the fun, the trends and everything, and the money too. I can pay them more money than what they make in the NHL. I told you, NHL athletes are the most underpaid pro athletes out of the big 4 leagues. NHL is like a small league compared to the other leagues, especially compared to the NFL. The NHL is a small league. NHL peaks at about $7 billion in revenue a season. A lot of money, but it's not the $20 billion that the NFL is making. NFL has much deeper pockets than the NHL. That's why the NHL can't pay the star players the money that the other star players make in the other pro leagues. NHL athletes get the peanuts of it, the lower end of it. They get their millions, but they get the lower end of it, because the league can't afford to pay them any more money, right? That's just the truth, right? Yeah, I can't afford to pay guys like Sidney Crosby, Connor Davis, like $30 million. Yeah, they can't afford that. They're going to drain the cap, man. They can't afford. They only have like a $100 million cap. They can't afford that. Yeah. Yeah. All right, do the NHL athletes deserve a raise? Yeah, they do. They deserve a bit more money, but the league can't afford to pay them more money because the league is not doing the kind of money that the other leagues are doing. NHL is the smallest of the big 4 pro leagues. Obviously, right? That's why the athletes playing in the league are underpaid. They make their millions, but they get the peanuts of it, the lower end of it, the lower end of the millions. They don't get the high end of it. No, they get the lower end. They peak out like $60 million NHL athletes. And still a lot of money. They're still making their millions, but they get the lower end of the millions, right? The NHL athletes, because the league's not doing the kind of money that the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB are doing, which is shocking, obviously, because hockey is a lot more interesting than baseball. And I find hockey more interesting than basketball, too. So it's like, I'm shocked that the NHL is not doing the kind of money that the NBA and the MLB are doing. Because people in the States don't really care that much about hockey, right? They don't really like hockey. They see it as a Canadian winter sport. I'm not really interested in seeing people skating on a nice shooting a puck. They're more into the nitty gritty sports like basketball, football. They're more into that, not really into that hockey ice stuff, right? Winter stuff. The Canadian thing, yeah, they don't really like it. The Americans, that's funny. I know. It's pretty popular in the States hockey, but it's not as popular the way football and basketball. Football and basketball are very popular in the States. Baseball too is very popular in the States. Those are American sports, whereas hockey is Canada sport. But the Canadians invented basketball and they invented football, I believe, right? Yeah. Canadians invented like all the sports, man, I believe. Football was invented in Canada, started off in Canada, and then the States popularized it. That's why the NFL is so popular, I believe. And I believe basketball was invented in Canada too. I could be wrong. I think basketball is also invented in Canada too. And then the States popularized it. Whereas baseball is an American sport. And hockey was obviously invented in Canada, obviously. Yeah, it's Canada sport hockey. That's why it's so popular up here, hockey, right? All people talk about here is hockey. Yeah. But for money, the players are making a lot more money than what they make in the NHL. I'm not going to have a $100 cap. No. Like, if I have a $100 cap, the players will be making what they're making in the NHL. No. I'll double it to $200 million. That way the players can make more money. Star players can make their $16 to $32 million. So you're going to put in a rule, yeah. For star players, do not pay them any less than $16 million. That way they get paid good money. Obviously, I do not pay them any more than $32 million. And generational guys, you can pay them $35 to $50 million, but they're not worth any more than $50 million. Yeah. I'll just do a thing. Don't pay generational talents any less than $35 million. And don't pay them any more than $50 million. That way they get paid good money and they get paid. Put that in the rule. That way the generational players can get paid. Yeah. Or you can just say that the GMs can pay them whatever they want, but they can exceed the limit and pay them $35 to $50 million. It's a good deal for the generational players playing the SHL, right? It's a good deal for those guys. Yeah. But Borgar's, oh yeah, man, if you want to be a star, if you want to be featured on the magazines and have the press talk about you, the sport anchors talk about you and they interview and everything, you have to be a star player with the other star player. That's why it's risky, man. I never played hockey in my life, so like, it's risky. These are the greatest hockey players in the world. But I have the genes, man. If I trained for 3-4 years, I should be able to heal the players. Why flop? I don't want to flop as a player, right? That's the thing, though. That's why it's most likely I'm going to lose RPG, obviously. Yeah. Questions are. 4 more days off. I work Wednesday, right? I pay tomorrow. More I can get my 6 beers, 25 pack of smokes. You touch your savings, I have a little bit of it I touch, but I'm going to save most of it. Most of it I'm going to save, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. So there'll be a lot of buzz. Oh yeah, everyone will be like, yeah, I can't wait to see Ivan play pro hockey, but it's just too much pressure for me, man. I don't want the world buzzing about the games they purchase, like the subscription fees, and like I flop as a player. Guy Simsara, Emma. He's like, yeah, Ivan, it's risky, man. You don't want to pay all this money and you flop on it. With movies, it's less risky. Movies is less risky, a lot less risky. I consider this shit for a movie. Yeah. With being a pro athlete, you have to be productive on the ice. I know you guys don't care. Yeah, we don't care, Ivan, what career path you choose. Even if you're a pro hockey player, that's still glory. I'll watch you play hockey, Ivan. That's fucking glory. Yeah, it's glory. But movies is better glory than being a pro hockey player, obviously. Yeah. Got some Sarah? Well, it's just a fucking dip, man. I'm not kidding around, man. You do this, man. You're gonna crush us on NHL athletes. Yeah, they're gonna be crushed on the NHL athletes. No, I'm not kidding around, man. You do that, you're a fucking dick, man. Like, you really are a dick, man. Like, you're gonna hurt us on Ivan. You're gonna crush us. Yeah. I'm gonna hurt the NHL athletes, obviously. They missed out on the opportunity and all that fun and all that money, right? I can pay them a lot more money than what they're making the NHL. The gatekeepers in the NHL, but, you know. Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna go upstairs and get coffee. Back in a sec. No, I am. No guys on the show. guys. Sorry for the wait. Well, I'm supposed to get my coffee. I have to use the bathroom too, right? Yeah. Yeah, if you're willing, I'll talk for 40 minutes. That's good enough, right? Yeah. When I go to the store and get my pack of smokes, I'll enjoy showing you guys, right? I'm gonna watch some rapper after that. So I mean, the press will be crazy. Oh yeah, looking at crazy press from my SHL Hockey League, and when the actors sign their contracts, they get traded. The press covers the news. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, man. Why you think the GMs will trade you? I highly doubt it. If I'm a star player, the GM for the Vancouver team will not trade me. Obviously, they will not trade me. Obviously, because I have the advantage over all these players in the sense that I don't age, so my performance can stay consistent for like 20 years. I don't age. I'm young forever, right? With all these players that get older as years pass, and their performance dips a little bit. When they're no longer in the prime, their performance automatically dips. That's how it works. Because they're older now, right? When do hockey players' performance dip? Usually when they hit their early 30s, maybe. 32, 33 is when their performance... Yeah. Players are in their prime for good maybe 10 to maybe 12 years, 13 years. McDavid has maybe 1-2 years left in his prime. After that, he's no longer in his prime. He will not be putting up the numbers that he's doing right now in his prime, obviously. He's 29 now, turning 30 next year. Give it maybe 2 more years, and McDavid is no longer in his prime. He's now older. He's a veteran player in his 30s. He will know he's no longer in his prime. But the question is, will he still be productive in his 30s like Crosby and Ovechkin? Even though Crosby's performance dipped a little bit, he's still a productive player. He's putting up like 70, 80 points a season still, right? He's still doing good. He's not putting up the numbers he did when he was younger in his prime, but he's still putting up good numbers. He's still productive. I don't see that much of a dip in quality. A little bit of a dip in quality, but I don't see that much of a difference, obviously. Will McDavid maintain that productivity right on the ice? When he's older, we'll see, obviously, right? Yeah. No, you know what I'm saying, yeah. That's what I'm saying. For me, I don't have to worry about that because I'm young forever. Yeah, Ivan, if you're a star player when you break out into the league in your first season, I can maintain that level of productivity for 20 seasons because I don't age. I'm young forever, so I can be prime Ivan, assuming I'm a star player for 20 years. These athletes can't do that because they age. Obviously, they don't have a genetic personality. I don't think guys are saying, yeah. I mean, that's true. Yeah, it's true. Obviously, right? Yeah. Well, what's your goal? I want to be the Wayne Gretzky of the or the Mario Lemieux, the great one in my SHL, right? Or the magnificent one, Mario Lemieux. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guarantee you, if I'm a star player, people are going to call me the magical one. Ivan the magical one. They're going to call me that. Ivan's magical on the ice. Ivan the magical one. They might call me that as my nickname, assuming I'm a star player. If I flop, they're not going to talk about me. I'll forget that, right? If I flop, they won't talk about me, obviously. That's why it's risky. You know? I mean, how much money you want players to get for per dime? $130 is good enough for the per dimes on their away games. They get a $130 of cash to pay for their dinner and their beer. If players want to go to the bar, have a couple beers, want to eat their dinner in their away games, they can use their $130 to have a beer at the bar. That's enough money for the players for their away games, right? They stay in that city for 1-2 days. They get $130 while they're staying in the hotel for the away games, and that's enough money for them to pay for their dinner and beer. But sometimes I might pay for the players, obviously, on my team. Yeah, it's on me, guys. Let's go to this restaurant. Dinner's on me. I'll pay for the beer. And they drink beer. We have dinner at the restaurant. I pay for it. I'm a multi-billionaire. I can afford it. Yeah. State-of-the-art gym where they work out in the off-season. Practice facility. Practice rink. Arena, right? And you have the main arena where they play the games, obviously, for the SHL games. So it works. Yeah. Carson Sayar. Yeah. Yo, man, you're a dick, man. You do that, man. You're gonna crush us NHL athletes. I know they're gonna be hurt and crushed. Even the NFL athletes and NBA athletes will be crushed. Because there's a side tension now. They're all going to go into a panic, the leagues. The NFL, the big giant, will now go into a panic if I start that league. Because my league will blow even the NFL with water. The NFL's now a puny small league compared to my league, right? Puny little league compared to my league. Yeah, NFL's huge. Generates like $22 billion a season revenue, man. It's like crazy. Well, my league will generate $100+ billion in revenue. $140 billion in revenue. It's like crazy, man. Yeah, it's blowing out the NFL. Yeah. And the NHL and the NBA and the MLB, yeah. Blowing out the water. Yeah, I have to cut my nails. Yeah. Get paid tomorrow. Yeah. I have to wait till 2 though. I busted in these. Pick up my check, right? Does something tell you you're gonna flop? Yeah, there's a part of me that believes I put all that money towards the Pro Hockey League. The world's buzzing when Ivan plays, it's glory. But Ivan's not putting on the ice. He doesn't score any goals. I flop, man. First season, I score like 5 goals. I have like 30 points, and I flop. But just because I flop first season doesn't mean I'm not gonna get better. I could flop maybe first season, and maybe second, third season I become a star player. But usually, how it works in pro sports, you start off, you break out into the league. If you're an amazing player, you should be breaking out into the league by your first season, and that's how you become a star player. Yeah, because in hockey you have lines. You have first line, second line, third line, fourth line, whatever it is, how it works, right? Usually the best players are the first line players. They get most of the playing time, the first line players. You have second line players. So if I'm not productive on the ice, they might put me maybe third line. Yeah, if you're not that productive, we'll put you third line, but you're not first line because you're not productive even on the ice. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why it's risky. That's why I won't select movies or I won't take that risk, right? Music, yeah, I mean, like, it's risky. Why would you pay all that money for a pro league when you can be a movie star to be hired? Being a movie star is much cooler, I know. That's why I want a movie star to be jealousy. Duh. I might not broadly, but I highly doubt it, though. It's highly unlikely. No, I mean, I'm not here, man. You do that, man, you're a fucking dick, man. You're gonna crush those pro athletes. NFL athletes, NBA athletes are gonna be crushed. NHL athletes are gonna be crushed. There's side tension, they can't compete with me, man. Y'all, we can't compete with Ivan. Ivan's why he's a pro hockey player now. We can't compete with that. Beyond press conferences, that's glory. It's all glory. Yeah, it's glory. That's glory, man. Just see me on press conference, awesome, me speaking. Yeah, I'm too powerful, man. That's why the gays lock doors me. Yeah, we lock doors you, Ivan, because you're too fucking powerful. It's not fair, and what? Like, you're the main event, raw side attention. It's not fair, Ivan. That's why they have you my wealth. That's why they won't lock the doors on me, honestly. No, we have your wealth. We don't want you being king, Ivan. We don't. It's not fair, Ivan. With a side attention, that's why you guys lock the doors on me. My father gave me the keys, right? I can make my money. I don't have to worry about the gates stealing my money. I have the keys to the kingdom. No. The press will be crazy. Yeah, you see me in the locker room. I'm after a game, and the press interviews me in the locker room, the press conference. You see people taking pictures, and I'm saying, Patrick. I'm just making up names here. You know what I'm saying? How does it feel about the game? And they're interviewing them. Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's what the actual has to be crushed. Yeah, you do that, man. You're gonna crush it. You miss on all that fun, Ivan, and all that money, and all that fame, world fame. They're gonna be crushed. That's why the SHL will blow the NHL water. The board guys told me, yeah, Ivan, your league will blow the NHL water. Yes, it will blow the NHL water. Yeah. Anyways, guys, this is wrap, guys, with the show. It's Ivan saying, peace. SHL better than the NHL. He shoots, he scores. Ivan Amaro, I flop, I flop. Peace out, guys. Go hate him, son.